still fighting. Chaka Zulu, African soldier. Listen, let's say African soldier. Now they're taking away African soldier. Kwame Nkrumah, African soldier. Jomo Kenyatta, African soldier. Patrice Lumumba, African soldier. Marcus Garvey, African soldier. African soldier, show your power.
Yes, it's another day.
Power, free your people now. Your people. Them now. From economic standard.
Another morning.
From political nonsense. Your people. From economic rubbish. Save your people. From political yabis. Save Africa. From economic jargon. Attention, African soldiers.
Of course, yes, it's another day.
We are still calling African soldiers. African soldiers to fight for freedom.
Another chance to live the life fully. Do not take anything for granted and think of every breath as a gift. Think of every breath as a gift. And this one here says, what you do today can improve all your tomorrows. The little things you do today matters a lot. The little things you do today can make you to become the person you want to become tomorrow. This is your Monday morning reminder that you can handle whatever this week throws at you. Whatever comes to you this week as you are starting this week fresh, very brand new week this Monday morning, you remember that you can handle whatever this week throws at you because you are a champion who can do what it takes for you to get to where you want to get. It doesn't matter how bad was your yesterday. Today you are going to make a good one. Whatever you do yesterday, you have to forget it and then you move on to a brand new day because every day the breath that you are breathing it matters a lot. So whatever that happened yesterday, you have to leave it in your yesterday and focus on your today because what you do today matters a lot.
African soldiers to fight for freedom. Some are dead and some are living. Those that are dead are still fighting on. Those that are living are still fighting. Chaka Zulu, African soldier. Listen, let's say African soldier. Now they're taking away African soldier. Kwame Nkrumah, African soldier. Jomo Kenyatta, African
And so this is how we would like to say good morning, Liberia.
soldier.
Good morning, Liberians.
Marcus Garvey, African soldier.
Good morning to the 15 political subdivision. Good morning to those watching us via Facebook.
Your people.
Good morning, Liberia. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my friends.
From political nonsense.
And this is how we would like to welcome you to another beautiful edition of Good Morning Liberia on Voice of Liberia 104.1.
I said them Africa. My economy
And
juggle.
indeed, it's a brand new day with too many things that happened over the weekend.
Still calling African soldiers
And we are here to bring you all of the things that happen.
for Africa.
All you have to do is just speak still and listen to this broadcast. My name is Liberia-VOL, and I'm here with Sam Andrew this morning. Together, we are teaming it up and be able to cross out of the T's and dots out of the R's.
Let us still be good African soldiers.
Okay, so that's it. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Liberia with Samira Online. This morning we don't have Grace here due to some or other reasons, but pretty soon she will be here and she will be here anytime this week to be able to carry on this broadcast. So we had too many things happening over the weekend. Over the weekend, His Excellency George Weah, he came to Liberia and from the United Nations General Assembly, and we all saw how he was welcomed overwhelmingly by citizens across Liberia. And also over the same weekend, on the same Saturday, uh, that was Nathaniel McGill. He launched his campaign in Makibi County, where he's running for the senatorial position there. He launched his campaign. Also, Sarah Yanti, presidential candidate, she launched her campaign on Saturday too. And we had Woki Dolo of District number 6. She also launched her campaign. Too many things happening over the weekend, and we are here to bring you happiness as to how it is. So that's it, Samantha. This morning we are at it. And also over the weekend, NEC they are to begin election press briefing this week, and it's going to start on Tuesday of this week from now till after election. Um from now to after election, we are going to be hearing words from the National Election Commission every Tuesdays as to the election update. But let me just bring you the reading here. It says in its continued drive to keep the public abreast with preparatory activities leading to 2023 general elections, the National Elections Commission will commence a weekly press briefing beginning Tuesday, September 26, 2023. And the press briefing will be addressed by the chairperson of the commission at 11 a.m. in the at the gym or former conference hall at the National Election Commission headquarters. So that was just a little about the briefing that we will be hearing things from National Election Commission till after the election. But let's go over to Sam Andrews so that he be able to tell us the weekend. Like it was kind of colorful because you had Woki Tolo launching a campaign, you had the president coming from out of the country. And you also had Sarah Yanti, another presidential candidate. She launched her campaign over the weekend too. Also, Yakia Kolupa from District number 10, he also launched his campaign on yesterday. So the weekend was a long one. And on Saturday, the streets, it was blue again. But how was it from your hand? From your end? How was the turnout?
I don't want to say, but let me differ with your word. A long one. It wasn't a long one, in my opinion. It
Mm,
was a tense and democratic one because, as you rightly put it, all of the, not all, but those who, as per the schedule, will turn out to do their formal launch. So it was a democratic campaign weekend with just 15 days to go. So they are crisscrossing the electorates, they are launching formally, and that's it. It's in line with the schedule they presented and reconciled with the National Elections Commission. So they have to tell their people they you can start from the onset. It doesn't say that it is a formal launch. From the onset, it only means that you are ready and you put the little bits and pieces together, and then you set a date with the National Elections Commission that you will do it formally. And the formal launch is to gave a full summary of what you have been saying all around. So yes, it was a great weekend, and we expect to see more or many more because you got some of the political parties set for uh, weekdays, some of them the end of the week, some of them Sunday.
And yeah,
So
we have people launching up to October 5th. People will still be launching their campaign. Like this coming
yeah,
Sunday,
everything closes on the eve of
exactly
the
the,
vote
the
day.
voting, yeah. So that's it. This coming Sunday will be ANC official launch too, wherein we are expecting to see Alessandra Cummings and Charlie Bromskin people out there, or we will be looking at the crowd again because we look at all
Yeah,
of the
it's crowd
crowds.
politics now, and
Yeah.
and Ability has put out a challenge
Mm,
that his crowd
mm,
going to swallow CDC and Unity Party
mm,
is not going to be the kind of crowd we saw on September 7 and September 17.
mm,
Yeah, he referred to it as the masses C. It's going to be a C. If you look at the C,
mm,
um, even though it's not literally a reference for river, but masses of people. So he simply said if CDC put out 20,000 and Unity Party put out 25,000,
mm.
he will put out 50,000 or 100.
So it's
so,
crowd
so
politics.
yeah, yeah, yeah. His according to him is going to be unprecedented,
Mm,
unprecedented,
mm,
and so we look forward to see that whether he can. On paper, it sounds good. People are thrilled by what you say on paper, but they are convinced by what they see.
exactly.
And so from now until Sunday, let's see. But I can say that they will pull the number.
Mhm,
They have the number
mhm,
on paper, and I think what they have on paper can be translated into action, given what they have done over the time since campaign started. They've been moving here and there, and if you see what they have done in where they scheduled themselves to go, they brought out the number, they
mhm,
brought out the people.
mhm.
Now, put all of those together on Sunday, you'll see that it wouldn't be a surprise if this filled ATS or beyond. But I can say for a fact that nobody should honorate ANC, no. Liberty Party, whatever the arrangement, I think they are all together. They will pull the number.
And
Yeah.
the thing about the
Yeah.
Antoinette Tubman Stadium is that you see most presidential candidates carry their people there because they want to know the field, the size of the field, right? Seditionists went there on September 7th. They saw how the crowd was like that. So, like you said, I think it's crowd politics because everybody go there so that they can see how the turnout will be as to if CDC rally was packed more than JMD rally because even yesterday in the streets.
But I mean, the ATS is not a measuring place for a crowd. I thought about that and I tried to reach out to the people and they did confirm. I think there's restriction on SKD for that.
Mhm,
That is the reason they have not gone.
mhm.
But any one of the political parties, especially the elite political parties, will have loved to use the Samarkand
The
Sports
sports
Complex,
complex.
which is much wider
Wider.
than ATS. Since restriction is on
Samarkand.
Samarkand Sports Complex from the overall authorities, CAF, FIFA, to have it preserved only for matches. So the only option is ATS. ATS. That is why everybody trunking to ATS.
Mm.
And
And also the ruling government they went ATS, so everybody trying to put there, you've
yeah,
been able to
no,
see
it is the only place
as to
available.
as to how.
It's the only place available now.
Yeah,
You know, we
but
don't have much space in our country, even though we
exactly.
have virgin lands,
Mm,
but the virgin lands remain virgin.
mm,
If you went on the highway, you will see that Liberia, God bless Liberia, with so much vast land.
mm.
But who wants to take advantage? Liberia is Morovia. Morovia is
It's
Liberia.
like you're
Everything right here.
mhm.
So it's the only spacious place they have. They can't take it to the street. then
Sure.
you'll be infringing on the rights of people already. When they have in there is an infringement on the rights of people somewhere somehow.
Mhm.
But ATS is the only place, so everybody will want to use ATS.
Mhm. So that's just it. It was just Sarah Pesloyanti that used the Jacobstown field, and she used it on Saturday. And Saturday you could see that people are in the ring. I went around the Matcha area, and Natana Makio, he pulled up proud from his end there. The traffic along that road is wasn't just easy around the barrier area there.
And he's the
And
favorite. He's the favorite to win that game.
why are you saying so? We have other candidates in the
Yeah,
race.
yeah. No, I'm not ruling out. I said he's the favorite.
Okay.
When you enter into a match, you hear the players they saying this person is favorite or this club is favorite. It doesn't suggest that there isn't a competitor. There is a competitor, but when you look at the factors, you get to realize that that person is the favorite. There are a couple of favorites in the
Mhm.
various elections.
Mhm.
There are a couple of favorites.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You have people there, and the place was overwhelmingly packed. And even when the president touched the ground, citizens walked under the ring. You know, yesterday it was when
so
I
that's
came.
another thing that it added spice to McGill's
Exactly.
campaign
Yeah.
because that's the route the president uses.
Uh-huh.
So it added spice.
Uh-huh.
So his campaign already he pulls the crowd.
Yeah.
Then the president comes in
Mhm.
at that time. So the coincidence worked for McGill.
Yeah, so you have people there, but then some people from GMB, when we're in the streets, we don't talk, we just been listening to different views and everything. So some people were saying, was it because that we came outside under the rain on Sunday and SWAT seditions are in the rain because you had seditions under
And
the
what do you
rain
think?
dancing? I don't know.
So what do you think?
I'm not trying to bring rain politics in it too because
But we
in
in rain
rain season.
season. Every political party that launch, every political party that have some kind of day or whatever the day, it rains. In a sense, they started the first week there wasn't rain. At the close of the first, going into the second, we started to experience rain, but not tens. Now, beyond that, every day is a rain day. So all of the political parties that been launching, they experience rain. All of the political parties, all the elite political parties, they experience rain. It is natural phenomenon. No one knows when the rain will fall or it will not fall. If you are lucky, like Patrick Ismond yesterday, he was lucky. He didn't experience any rain.
Even
So
Yaka Toluba.
he and his people were after New Georgia, Nigeria, Shopfield, and they had a successful launch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
some
on
people, why they have it, yes, the rain falls.
on CDC day, it never fall like the way it did on JMB day. Yeah, but it's really
So
season though.
who,
So I'm,
who you can ask that?
no,
No, I'm
trying to
just
make,
kidding.
I'm
Let's
just trying
go.
to make
Let's
myself,
go.
it's the back.
That's God determines the intensity.
Exactly. So whatever day, yesterday was working solo day. The people of the church says they were outside under the ring. I mean, you even have working yourself under the ring, trying to talk to the people. Even Makio was over the car yesterday under that ring with the group
Because they want the
going.
vote.
Exactly. You have to do it.
They,
You can be telling your car
politicians risk
bricks
their life for the vote. At this point, they are humble. They are they see the electorate, they see the people as the most precious in their eyes right now. They can do anything, they can go anywhere. I saw Charlene Bromsky in a kino crossing to go and speak to people.
after election,
We saw
will there be such?
prior to that, we saw President we are walking in the water, under the rain, and a couple of other individuals. They're fighting for the vote. They're begging for the vote. Right after that, they're not going to do it. Normally, when you have President we are walking in water,
I think it's the election that they do counted tour and stuff like that.
normally when you have Charlene Bronsky taking the risks to get in a kingdom to cross, what you will hear is we have dispatched a team when when it is not campaign, and what you hear is say, oh, we dispatch a team there, but they wouldn't go there.
So
So election time, they take the risks because they want the vote, and that's how you get the vote. You can't stay in your office and be rhetorical. You have to move. You have to fight for the votes. Otherwise, you're not going to get that vote that you want or those votes.
So that's just it. And also over the weekend too, we had Ambassador Boakan. He was in Grand Bassa County. He spoke to the people of Lac, and he had a huge turn up there too. Also in Lofa County, the crowd that I saw from Lofa County, I was like, wow. CDC is really known for putting on crowds, right? Because Lofa County, the people turn up in their numbers. We had people there, the whole field was packed. And that's just it. I just when I was going through all of these things, I saw that the campaign is getting tense because we have few more days. So everybody going from door to door campaigning, doing that door to door campaign or dispatching teams in various communities, in various counties, and everything.
You will expect CDC to pull out the crowd. One CDC is a popular party. They've been around for a while. They have had charismatic figures, and beyond those figures, they got the charismatic figure himself, President George Weah. When they were in opposition, they were popular. They came to power, their popularity remains, even though it dwindled along the way. Because when you take state power now, you are not treated as when you were in opposition or you are in opposition. Because in opposition, you got nothing to prove. When you ascend, then you have something to prove. So along the way, President Weah popularity dwindled. But when he started to initiate these developments around the country, then it started to rise again, coupled with the addition. Now he's seeking re-election. So you will expect that the people will turn out. Moreover, it is the normal. Crowd politics is very essential, very significant in electioneering, very significant, but it is
Yeah.
not definitive
Yeah.
because you will see hundreds of thousands of people at a rally of CDC. When Unity Party or ANC or MPC goes to that same place, you see the crowd swells. But the determination is made at the ballot box. That's why at the close of the day, when the results are announced, you'll have the teller bearer and his people in their room. They running through all of the sheets. Mm, Say they're looking, Lofa County, this district, we went there, we got this number, but yeah, the vote is saying something different. Because you can have large crowd,
Sure.
and at the close of the day, that large crowd can give you the number because the crowd fluctuates.
Exactly. And at times, some people just love being in the front, go from different political party to another one, getting their t-shirts and their lapas and everything. That's how some people are. They go out and from one party to another party. Don't be surprised. You will see some people that attended CDC rally, Unity Party rally. You will see them at the Sarakumi's place on Sunday. That's just how it is. But I
Yeah,
know
hustle. I can be hustle.
exactly.
You know
That's
that money time,
yeah. The people can say that
Everybody wants to eat something that way.
it's the only time they can see the people, they can talk to them, they
Sure.
can get their money out of them.
Sure,
Because
sure.
if they win the election, they won't do such. That's how Liberians see it. And that's how it is here.
But will you ever see President Weah walking in water again? Will you ever see Charlene Bronsky crossing Kino?
Yes.
Will you see Chancellor Tiwan Gongolo taking broom?
Room to swim.
Will you see MPC men doing all that? It's because of the candidate you see prior to after 2017. There were a couple of issues they needed, couple of places they needed to have gone. Couple of issues were raised by the people. Did you see them moving? But rather they send advanced team, they send assessment team. 5 years after, what happened? The election comes. So they are taking full responsibility now. They are risking, they are taking on risky ventures just to get the votes. That's how it looks. Normally, will you have Charlene Brunson going into a
No,
keynote?
no. It won't
As
be.
far as she's concerned, it will be a risk to her life.
Of
She can't do
course.
that. She would prefer designating somebody
Somebody,
to
send
go
a team.
and do it. Yeah. But because it is election year, that's the typical attitude of politicians
And
or politicians. You don't see them around moving into such ventures or those ventures when election isn't around. But
Speaking,
once the elections are around, bam,
Mhm.
they're ready.
That's just it. Also, speaking to that, even the smokers issue going to the ghettos and everything, you have most of the politicians going to the ghettos now saying that the people are not being treated fairly, they are taking drugs, so they can go to talk to them, to conscientize them and everything. But my point there is, if you happen to win this election, will you be able to go to that ghetto and be able to conscientize them? No.
No, no, not at all.
Not at all. So that's just it. And we are here this morning. If you are tuning in, this is Voice of Liberia 104.1. Currently, the program put Morning Liberia on your FM tar. And shortly, we have our guest that will be taking that is from 9 to 10. For our last segment, we will have Madam Grace Pan, that is the vast standard bearer of the Liberian National Union. She will be here along with the campaign chair, that is Lord Scott. They are going to be here to discuss politics. They are going to be here to tell the Liberian people why they should vote Dr. Moniba as president for the Republic of Liberia. And also at from 8, we are about to usher in our guests for the first segment. And we will have the progressive guys of District number 10, Elijah Gay, that is the PRO. He's going to be here to talk about issues as it relates to District number 10. And we will take our first guest, that is Trokon Josh, the chairman of Honorable Alfred P.S. Greer, that is from District number 10. We are going to take him from 8 to 8:30 shortly. So let's take this break. When we get back, we take our guests.
They have a lot to do with the security of the state and the image of the country. We have an international airport that should have rules and regulations. We have a CCTV camera that should operate by international standards and by international
and trying to pull crowds and everything like that. They can be successful for the October 10th, 2023 general elections. And we have people pulling out in the numerous situations. They were outside, and that's the Yanti people were outside. And this coming Sunday, we are expecting the launch of ANC, that is Edison Akumi and Charlie Bromsky, they are to launch their campaign on Sunday. So, few minutes from now, we are going to be ushering our guests for the first segment, and that is Elisha Gay. He's the PRO for the Progressive Movement of District number 10. He's going to be here telling us more about his district number 10. So, back to it, Andrews. That's just it about the pulling crowds and everything. And about the statements that were made by Prince Johnson and that of the Honorable Mayor Ambassador Blackham. He made a statement and he said, if anything happens during this election, Liberia is finished. He said that, so you have people counter reacting to that. ECOWAS or replied to that particular statement. And you have other political leaders saying that these people shouldn't threaten their peace in Liberia. But my point here is seeing all of the remarks that's coming ahead of the elections, it doesn't show any good signs. But they are clarifying their statements now and saying that it's not the other way around. They are just saying that they want a free, fair, and transparent elections. But my point is they have to trust the National Election Commission. They have to, because if you don't have trust, there where the problem comes from. Andrews, that's just it. And these statements is not good for the country. Looking at where we came from, looking at the past 14 years, what happened within Liberia, you see people throwing threatening remarks. If it draws or it raises eyebrows, that is why I have um the reply from ECOWAS, they says something about it, and I'm just going to read it. It says ECOWAS urges political actors to refrain from inflaming tensions in the run-up of the October 10 election. October 10 election, ECOWAS has observed with great concern the development of the use of is sent rhetoric as some political leaders and activists that will stir violence, emotions, incite disturbance, and jeopardize the peace and stability of Liberia. Number one, ECOWAS condemns such inflammatory statements that have been or trigger violent confrontation. So I can't read the whole document here, but they responded to it. It means that people out there they are following and they are listening and seeing what's happening with the Liberia. Usually when it comes to election year, people going out of the country, people don't want to stay in Liberia for election because they feel that their peace will be somehow tempered with. So they don't want to stay in the country just in case of anything. And political leaders, people who are in high offices, if they start to make such statements, they don't trust the government, they don't trust the country. If they start to make these statements, is where we have the problem coming from. So
The mistake that many are making, I can understand the sentiment, but you have to take the sentiment out and look at it literally.
mm,
The first thing is everyone is entitled to his or her view.
mm,
Everyone can make a position statement.
mm,
The law guarantees that. The Constitution guarantees that to everyone. So there isn't a wrong for any one of these politicians and people on the fringe of the election campaign to make statements or to express their opinion. They got every right to do that. What they cannot do, what is not within the purview to do, is to trigger the atmosphere.
mm,
The law or the government or the National Elections Commission and other people, they aren't saying that it is not these political. or these politicians right to speak
Mhm.
about whatever they observe.
Mhm.
If you observe that certain things are not going right
Mhm.
within the National Elections Commission or within the perimeter of the
Mhm.
National Elections
Mhm.
Commission, you can express it. But that expression has to go with responsiveness. So you go straight to the issue in accordance with the framework that addresses that issue. When you impute sentiment into it, there where the problem, or you have people now descending on you. So, okay, I can understand Senator Johnson, Evangelist Milton Bly, and Prince, the Vice
Johnson,
President,
yeah.
all of those people,
Yakia
because
Palova.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's not wrong to express their opinion. You can disagree. We disagree to agree. But when you impute sentiment into it, then there where the problem comes in, because the sentiment will lead you into making statements that will run contrary to your right intent. Your intent, you can have a right intent, you can have a very good intent, but the way you express it can alter your intent, and it gives a different picture. Now, what happened? Prince Johnson is compelled, or he was compelled to come and say, no, the poor misinterpreted my statement. That's
Exactly.
not what I meant.
Mhm.
But you see, that's what sentiment do.
Mhm.
That's why you have to take time before you speak to whatever the issue. You take time, you sit down, look at it carefully, put all your bits and pieces together,
Mhm.
rationalize it well before you make it public, because you want people to listen to you. You want people to give every reason to it. You want people to see sense into it. You want people to say, yes, what Samira said, it makes sense. This is logical. So that's what you do. You look at it, you analyze it from every angle, then you look at the aftermath.
Okay.
If I make such a statement, what's going to happen? What kind
Mhm.
of time are we in? What is the understanding of the people?
Exactly.
Where are we coming from?
Mhm.
Where are we headed? You put all of those things. Once you are
Making a
rhetorical,
statement.
analytically, you see that it becomes well. So when you speak, you say, "Oh yes, oh that guy making sense.
Mhm.
That lady making sense."
Mhm. So that's it, people. That's it, friends. Now we have Elijah Gay in studio. He's from the Progressive Guys of District Number 10. He's the PRO, and he's here to tell us um, why we should re-elect Josh Money. We also talk about some district politics. So over to you. Good morning, Elijah.
Good morning, Samira. Good morning to the
Okay.
listening audience.
It's nice to have you this morning.
Uh, Thank you very much. I'm amazed. I
Mm,
want to say thank you to your leadership for setting up this studio like this.
mm,
I visited somewhere back there, what I saw,
mm.
and then what I'm seeing this morning, I'm very, very excited. I want to say
It's
thank you.
it's a cozy studio.
Yeah, really, thank you for your studio. Thank you for the
Okay,
setup.
welcome, welcome. So, straight at it. How did the name Progressive Guards came about? Or what are you guys doing in the Progressive Guards? What's the intention of Progressive Guards
Yeah,
in District 10?
this return we gather, before election. We've been existing since 2 years ago.
Okay.
We are there to like support peace.
Mhm.
We are there to call on young people in terms of what violence. We interfere, and then we support people when it comes to education in our weak way.
Mm.
So we are there to take care from society.
Okay, so is it all male group or
No,
you
no,
have females?
no. We say guys, females are included. We just say guys, but
Yeah, but people out there, that they won't understand
no, I
from
agree.
the
I
way
agree
how
with
it
you. But
is.
females are included. In fact, we got leadership. Our leadership structure. We got females in our midst.
Mm,
So we are open to everyone,
okay.
both male and female.
I'm seeing you wearing Judge Money We Are 2023 cap. So is this group or there for the re-election of President George Money We Are? Is this group fully supporting the CDC-led government?
Sincerely, majority of us are like sedition, right?
Mhm,
But equally, we are organizations. So other people may support the other side. Other
mm,
people may support other political party. We
okay.
don't have problem, but in our own capacity, majority of all we are supporting, we are sedition.
Mhm.
Yeah. So with that, I think we got 90% support for the re-election of President we are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you
So
people are organization. You people are not salaries.
no, we are not a salary.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
We are organization.
Yes, because we have to make that
Yeah,
clear
yeah,
here.
we are an organization. We are not a salary under any political party.
Okay, so let's talk about district politics. How is district number 10?
You see, district number 10, that's a real issue that we are here.
I
Yeah,
know.
because like I'm the PRO, my chairman, and a lot of people within the organization are 100% citizen.
Okay.
How may I say? They support CDC, they support their candidate. But district number 10, we having some problem. We had a problem before, and then it hurt us a lot. We the voter. Like the issue with the summer father, we was there, moving from one angle to another, one point to another within the district. But then at the end time, we understand that we couldn't win the election. Those things happen. But when it happen, the voter won't feel secure. They won't feel happy. But the bigger one now is coming to happen with what you call it, the candidate introduced within the district, Madam David.
Josephine
Yeah,
Davis. Okay.
Josephine David. The issue with Josephine David is like she's within the district and then sedition are there. So I can really understand her working, right? We out there, we moving from place to place. You will understand that everywhere you go, every household you enter, people will tell you that, oh, for me, I for Sir Joseph, I for how you call it, I for George Freya. But that Josephine woman, she too proud. She like this. But then with our group, with people that surrounding us, it's the same thing still repeating to us. Because if you call her, she will be like, oh, Elijah, progressive, I will get to you guys, but just to take time. Even I can say for clear, right? When the president was visiting District 10, we had this issue that Josephine had to call, Madam David had to call, excuse me. She called us, we had to get people all around. We went to, how you call it, Catholic Junction. But in return, after the program, some people will say money, but some others say money. We said that, okay, David, since we made a program that said you only have to call to say, oh, yeah, thank you. Man, you did well, or we will reach out to you guys. But those things are not happening. And you see, District 10, I can tell you for free. Anybody who live in District 10 and citizen are living in District 10 will tell you that we got over 4 top candidates that are CDC related. What am I saying? You get people like Charisma. I'm not here to push or
Yeah.
meshes, right? You got people like
Karishma.
Charisma Penori.
She's from the Unity
She's
Party Ample, right?
she's an independent candidate though.
Okay.
Yeah. But then you got another guy they call Yeke Sekui. You got another young guy there they call how you call it Anthony Morgan. All those people are CDC related. So why insinuate to you as a citizen if your candidate is not reaching out to you? So you mean you playing with our vote there because what really going to happen? Charisma will take portion of your vote if you made the people to feel disenchanted. Or Yeke Sekui will take portion of your vote. I'm not promoting them in any way.
So,
And then
it's like she's not friendly with the people in the district.
she's actually not friendly. If you take your microphone, people will tell you that I'm there for Sir Joseph, I'm there for Valaya Josephine, I'm not voting for Josephine. And you understand? Because Josephine, I decided to work with her starting from a voter, how you call it, registration period. I started working with her. I started making my way. Those things have to be difficult for me as a candidate who willing to support you.
So
Getting you not have to be difficult for
that
me.
that means that you people are in a disadvantaged position. If you got four CDC affiliate contesting, then it means not only are you right that the votes will be shared, and it becomes an advantage for the opposition.
Most definitely. Most definitely. In my own capacity, I call them CDC affiliate. Those CDC is not supporting them in any way, but those young people that are in the breaks. Like I can remember certain time point when Lofa County were winning the how you call the county meet, Charisma was with CDC at the time. If I'm not getting things wrong. So that from that background, I'm saying she's CDC, related candidate. Though they will not support her now, but young people in the district say like, and the young people that are there, majority are our citizens.
But there is still room to reverse such trend, reconcile it better, and then move forward. You got 15 days. If it remains this way, you people lost.
Of course, that's the process we're on. We need that reconciliation. And who can forward that? Who can push that? Who can make it to come to reality? She's a candidate. She need to listen to the people. right?
So you people have tried talking to her and she's not listening.
Over and over. I will send text. Even when people are there, I say, Madam, even if she come in the district, I say, Madam, look, let me tell you, there are people we don't want to say, don't work with those people. You need to work with those people, but the fact of the matter, you need to always get your friendlier people that you will understand because there are a lot of people that will show up when you come. But then I want you to come back. If another candidate come in, then you see their affiliation with this candidate. So I don't know if it is working within your account because I'm not permitted to work there. I don't know for what reason because I can tell.
You were
But
pushed out. Were you in before? When
I
you
was
say you weren't permitted to work there, were you there before?
no, I never worked before, but
But you
I've been
wanted to
placing
be a part.
okay, good. I've been placing call. Everything about me when I'm ready to do it, I will call her. I say, Madam, we need to do this, do that. Okay, Elijah, I will call you. Okay, progressive, I will get to you people. So it's getting all like, oh, similarly with other people. And you understand? So
Mhm.
we hear this crowd from this other organization, the other organization that we're partnering with because progressive is almost like we are partnering with pretty close to 14, organization within that district. And you understand, we work together when it comes to election matter. You understand? We will go there, we recruit all of the sedition are there. If other organization not have sedition, those who got sedition will recruit all of the sedition will work together. And you understand? Electoral violence, we could remember sometime back, Josephine went to, how you call it, Peace Island, people intended attacking her there. And then they say repeated for the second time. We even talk to people
Why
here
did
having
they
the
attempt
codes.
to attack her?
Because almost like you have to come and use the public area, right? Which is the football field. Somebody will be there and say, you have to pay for it. You have to do this. You have to do this. And in the process of you trying to do that, and then a member tension. It even happened when
She wanted to use the place free.
since you already know.
Then what?
Yeah, but the payment time was like overdue. So she wanted to do the payment at a particular point in time,
On the
right?
day
On the
your people
date,
were
yeah,
having the
yeah,
event.
okay, good. But for that, I only got the information from my chairman. Now, the one that happened in my person was like one Anthony Morgan went there on the football field. Anthony Morgan did the payment before time. When Anthony Morgan got there, people said that he shouldn't use certain portion of the place. And it was where progressive got in. We said, no, this is electoral violence. We're not going to sit here. You intimidate people here. And you know what I'm saying? It will sound to us like nobody living here, Latin positive. So on that day, we got involved as an organization, people partnering with us. We decided to work out teams, we put everything under control. Even the perpetrator, we carried them to the community leadership, and then they mandated all. I still got a letter in my possession. They mandated all to carry them to court because the youth leadership there refused to come to the call of the other council. So that's our work. We don't really want to see this district moving the way it's not supposed to go. Because most of us, if you CDC, and CDC is a party that speaks one language, so it's just like a ball game. Whether you are a German man, you can work with CDC. So when you get on the football field, you see the ball coming to you immediately, you pass it to the next player. So we understand the language very well. We know what will affect us. You understand? So with that, we understand that the way things going, if it remain like this, definitely CDC going to lose this return. Or I got a representative seat.
But if any one of these factors weren't in place, will you still have won or will be in the position to win it?
Most yes. If any of those factors I just mentioned was not in place, most definitely CDC going to win the seat. Win, I mean,
But
because
these are not major factors. They are not strong enough that they cannot be overturned to return the atmosphere to its normal state so that your candidate wins.
well, I believe that, right? But the time is very short, and you need to work on this. You need to work on this problem. Because if you fail to work on it now, you fail to reach out to people, you fail to take the airway, you fail to talk to the people within the district, it will be very, very difficult. I,
So she haven't visited any media house.
I, I can tell I haven't been listening to her though, but what I know is everywhere she go, for me, I like working with female.
Mhm.
Good. work with Madam Rosalind. She see me, she called me by name, right? I work with her in District 4. But this is one of the difficult females I find, myself working with. She very, tough to turn out to people. She very tough to answer calls. She very tough. Like you send text, we're supposed to do something today. I send you text like yesterday, then you respond day after tomorrow.
mm.
So it sounds to me like you now have interest, and then probably you don't know who are you talking to. Yeah, and you're not making yourself available, talk to those people, and how you will get the vote from them. That's
Oh,
our problem.
okay, okay. So let's say, what is the message you are here to send out to Josephine Davis and also to CDC because she's on CDC ticket. So what's your message to them? Because district 10, I mean, is one of the districts that is, I can say, is kind of hot. And you have people, you have Yaka Kaluba there. The government will go to that. But
Yeah.
your message first to CDC led government.
Yeah, my message to CDC as a what you call it, political party is if you got a candidate, I think you need to get this stuff we call monitoring process
Okay,
good
before.
before because
Okay.
probably when I'm your candidate, I understand to be like you trust me fully well. But if what you want me to do, I'm gonna do it fully. So you have to get someone to probably monitor my activity. If I would rather be able to reach out, you want me to reach out to people. You trust my ability of reaching out to people, you want me to do that fully.
Mhm,
But if I would be able to implement that fully,
mhm,
well, I think the monitoring system have to be there. But then if the hierarchies within CDC know what's going on in District 10, if they've been going to people, I'm not talking about only one portion, but I'm
mhm,
talking about the overall. I'm talking about how you call it, Peace Island. I'm talking about all of the vote rich community within District 10. If they have been going there to hear the crowd of the people, how our candidate, if they haven't been doing it, I want them to start doing it now.
mhm,
Yeah, to see how they can solve the problem. And then my message to Madam David as candidate is, Madam, if you hearing me or whatever way you will hear me, I want her to start going to the people, from door to door, talking to them. That yes, the way people take her to be, that's not how she look. But everyone within the district will emphasize on her being proud.
mhm,
Yes.
Let's bring this one. We'll get back to you. The president of Liberia, George Weah, has appointed Dr. Olu Manje as president of Totmont University in
mhm,
Harper, Maryland County. Dr. Menge, a veteran educator and administrator, according to the executive mansion or the president's office, will replace Dr. Edward Lama Wonkeo, who served in the capacity following the resignation of the then president, Blair Wilson. The executive mansion said prior to his appointment by President George Weah on today, Monday, September 25th, Dr. Menge served in many capacities, including the president of the Baptist Convention, vice president of the Liberal Council of Churches, and principal, Rex Institute. Was she? What are you portraying of her? Did you guys see any one of those prior to the elections? Did you observe anyone or that she wasn't the kind of person she is now prior to the election
mhm,
or she is the same person?
Uh, prior to the election, I used to like listen to her working, right?
mhm,
At the time she was the RG, I used to listen. I used to see her working. She was very potential in doing her work. I used to see her moving from place to place. But sincerely, I was not close to her at the time to know her interaction with people personally,
mhm,
right? It is this time around during the election hearing, it's the time I start getting around her. So before, even when they announced her trying to, she was running on CDC ticket, my thought was she one of the formidable force,
mhm.
formidable person within the district. So she would be the right person
But
to
she
do it.
is she not?
No, what I'm observing now is like because for now I can't really speak to that. I can't really tell you now. But something have changed.
Mhm.
Yes.
You don't have much confidence in her if you
Right
have
now.
confidence.
Right now I have confidence before this.
but not as strong before.
But now, no. Because the thing that I just want Madam David to do one thing for me. We got somewhere around there was Susan very few,
Mhm.
where all of the Kennedy go. When the president was there, she was one there, you know. But I want Madam David to go there alone. Let's see how the atmosphere will be. Everything that I'm saying now, I just wanted to do one day within a week before the election to go there by ourselves.
What?
To
So
see the
what is
turnout of
what? What?
people, to
Oh,
see the
okay.
momentum.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
the turnout.
Yeah, the
She,
turnout. So you will see the turnout. Then if you see the turnout, you will know that something is going wrong.
she has launched her campaign already.
And David,
Mhm.
uh, uh, yes,
Okay. And the
yes.
turnout, how was it?
The turnout, I saw the turnout,
Mhm.
and then I was not in the district at the time though, but I was on my phone. I saw the turnout. But other people that have been coming like in recent time, the turnout is like more than this candidate that in fact people considering the president have won, the president will win this election, the president will get this. But then the candidate that the president is supporting, what is the turnout? And you're comparing to other people that we don't even expect to put up this kind of crowd. So what happened? Why is it that people saying the same thing everywhere you go on the oral, people say the same thing I'm saying.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's your district. Do you see uh, the chance of Yeke Paluba going back as representative of that district?
Sincerely, no.
Okay, so who do you see in that line?
In the land,
When
in
it
the
comes to district
yeah,
politics,
when it
people
comes to
who talk to the
district politics,
mm,
you know, when we call in names,
mm,
some people will feel like we're promoting this candidate. No,
mm,
and you understand? I
mm.
want to make that clear before then.
They just being real
Good.
and
I
talking.
just being real.
Mhm.
I'm a citizen and nothing about CDC that I will not support.
Of course.
Even with all of my disenchantment with Josephine, I'm sitting here, I'm telling you that I'm going to vote for her,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But if things remain like this,
Mhm.
we got one young guy in that district. Some people will claim that he's not qualified. He's not. But I told someone, I said, who are you to tell this man he's not qualified when that certificate ain't him? Right?
Mhm.
Now, you say he's not qualified. Everything that people, voters want, he's doing it. He's reaching out to people.
Mhm.
He's spending money on people.
Mhm.
And that guy, he's like working. He got a hand mark in the district. He's like using his own solar plate with him. He got a lot of things doing in the district. So I know Yeke Kwaluba can win that district, but people should be careful with that guy named Yeke Sekwi.
Okay.
Yes, he's the
Mm.
next threat that I'm looking at in District 10. But for Yeke, no.
Okay. So about some of the statements made by political leaders or hardcore officials within the government. What do you have to say about that? You have been hearing statements from opposition party, Unity Party, Prince Johnson, though he came up and he clarified that, so the lack of your district representative Yake Polupa. What do
Yeah.
you have to say about all of these statements made by?
How about I really have one statement that I heard from Senator Johnson.
Mm,
Yeah, in the post that he had a leak chat, right, where he was like showing uh ammo gun to someone in their chat. But then I just look at that to be like, the government I need to draw attention on those kind of things because I understand the opposition have no measures. They have nothing to tell the Liberian people, but everything that they focus on is what carrying these lies, like they are planning to cheat us, they are planning to cheat us, and when they cheat us, we'll do this. That can't work right now. Yeah. So we don't take that into consideration. You don't have to dignify those things. Because if you dignify them, it will almost be like something that people will be like. The opposition are not that critical. For me, I always tell people they are not that critical. And then like in the past, where you had critical people like the late Bronskin, he was critical. But the opposition I see now, they're not critical. What I understand they like to do is criticize. Yeah. Or if you just keep criticizing and then you are not doing anything tangible for people to see, I can dignify you. Yeah. So my message to the government in that direction or to my party is you don't have to dignify those things. Keep focused and do what you do to win the election.
Okay, so now let's go to the full lines and be able to interact with the public. We have Elijah Gay in studio from District number 10, and he's here sending out message to Josephine Davis that she's not friendly with the people of District number 10. So you can call us on 0770-907-907, Again, the numbers to call are 0770-907-907, And if you are following us via Facebook, we urge that you share the live video and drop a comment that will be read at the end of this discussion. So that's just it. You said that Honorable Yeka Kaluba, you don't see him going back there as the next
Sincerely.
representative.
Sincerely.
But just
Sincerely.
yesterday he launched his campaign and we saw that he pulled up crowd too within the district.
No,
I think you
the thing
follow.
about crowd, the thing about crowd, we don't have to always
You
be.
have to take that into
Yeah,
consideration
yeah.
too.
You put on the crowd, but then another person will put a crowd more than you, and another person. Sincerely, with all what Josephine do, if Josephine like go, I know for Josephine, my fear is not Yeke Koluba. Sincerely,
Mhm,
yes. If it be like people I just mentioned, the name I just mentioned
mhm,
was not in our race.
mhm,
I'm not saying what I'm saying now. Yeke Koluba is not a threat. Yeah. Some people like the crowd of Yeke. You can compare it with this guy I was discussing. He launched on Saturday. And you understand? He launched on Saturday. I was in the district.
mhm.
I saw the crowd. I started sending messages out. I said, Madam, you have to come and see the same people. The same thing will tell you. The same people. Yeah. But the crowd was like too much. So I look at that guy to be the contender to Madam David,
Okay, so
not Yeke Koluwa,
let's take
sincerely.
this call. Okay, the person left the line. So you call us on 0770-907-907, We have Elisha Gay in studio, and he's from District number 10, and also the Progressive guys. He's here to talk about their district politics and also talk about CDC or female candidate they have in that district, that is Josephine Davis. He's talking about her workings within the district. But let's look at the progressive cause. What are some of the things that you have done for the district in terms of helping the district?
Uh, Progressive guys, we since we got established, we've been having some difficulties though.
Mhm.
Yeah, so to to really bring out like structure within the district, we don't have a structure within the district.
Okay.
But what we do normally, like on elementary or junior high graduation ceremony, sometimes we take gift to all most of the various school within the community. So our working having go beyond boundary, but we work within the community that the let's say the organization established in. So most of the time we take the case, we take copy book to the case, and then we share it out to them. Just from that point trying to our basic focus now is to get our own structure. So with that, we haven't been able to really reach out to other people in terms of maybe putting a structure or doing something or tangible within the district besides reaching out to the kids, junior high and so on. So sometimes when people like conduct the question, we go there, we participate in being like, moderator. We go there, we serve at I call it judges and things.
Mhm,
So we got people in our midst that specialize in all of this place.
mhm.
So that's why basically we are, focusing on now. But for us to be like, oh, we are developed portions of the district,
So
we
how many
haven't been.
persons you have within the organization?
I got roughly close to 172 consecutive members.
Okay.
Yeah, 172 so far.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah,
172 is a substantial number. What do you guys do?
Mm.
172 persons,
yeah,
large number.
large number.
So what's the role of the 172?
Yeah, the 172 we got a 17 leadership structure, and then we had a meeting every Sunday, and then we pay a due, and the due will be focusing on all of our activity that I just outlined. Like we are trying to get our own structure. So within that, that's what basically we do. So we will be like every Sunday a meeting.
Mm.
When we have a meeting, we collect our due, we collect the due, we keep it for purpose, just in case we got like emergency with some of our member, we contribute. That is most of our aim. Because like someone graduating from our organization, we got 3 person that graduating this coming soon, Saturday.
Mm.
So we are under obligation to take probably 5,000 to each of them. Yeah. So that's huge sum of money. And all of that we just working within the due payment.
And how many dollars each person pays?
Per due. Yeah, we started with 100, but we found it difficult for people to pay that due. So we
100 liberty
100 Liberian dollars, yeah. So we drop it straight down to
per
50.
week, month?
Yeah, per week, every week. Every meeting due is 50 Liberian
So you
dollars.
people have meeting every week.
Every week we have meeting.
And most of your guys can't afford the $100.
Yeah, most people will not have 100. So what we do, we drop it to 50 so other people can be
And
able
they
to.
still can't afford 50. Do
No,
you,
no,
is it that they can't afford the 100 and then it came down to 50 because they just don't want to pay, or that they don't have the financial might?
yeah, most people don't have the financial mind. So what happened? We want for it to be like interactive. So we want for everybody contribution as a member, contribution to be
So
within.
you want to give an estimation of your members, if not all, very many of them. By now, you should know what they do.
What most of my member do for survivor.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's what you say.
yeah,
Yes, I know what most of them do. You
they are
see,
in business,
most of them are in business. Few are like with NAFA,
but they cannot afford $100 liberty to pay as they due.
mm, some people are not really doing something as well. So the reason why we do that is even okay, assuming that I am like affordable a little bit. So what I do, I decide to pay for 4 person, right? So within that, I will be spending like four. But if now I decide to pay for 8 person, right, I will be able to spend like the $400
How long you been in existence?
to pay for our 10th anniversary will be October 23rd.
You think you can go beyond October
If I can go beyond,
as a group, as an organization?
yeah,
The reason I'm asking you,
yeah,
because if you got 172 members
okay,
and majority of them are working, businessing,
yeah,
and they can pay a due of $100 labor day,
yeah,
$100 labor day,
yeah,
$100 that even the beginning on this hour, they can get it 6, 7 times
times true,
a week,
yeah,
and they can pay men and women, men who are working. Let's take it that way.
yeah.
So indirectly, your organization wouldn't survive because that's a sustainability of the organization.
No, sincerely, it will survive because the level where we came from, we came somewhere back, or how you call it, 2020. I said our 10th anniversary going to be October 20th. So we've been in existence for pretty close to 3 years now.
But your men get paid due.
Yeah.
So
So
you the head now,
yeah.
you putting all the money
So
there.
what happened? What happened now? What happened now is like you see, even the meeting, the date of the meeting, what happened? The 172, everyone can be present. So some people, if you are not present like 2, 3 times, probably you send like $500 on the organization number. You say, okay, that $500, you can use it for the past 3 meetings I haven't been around. Right? That's how it works.
Mhm.
So other people won't be around. Then when you send it, you say, okay, the 2, 3 person I never paid them, man. The other person, okay, you can use that to pay. That's how we've been surviving. Because it is not just easy to even get how you call it membership form printed. We got, you know, identity. We had to get banners. We had to get cheer. We had to get place that we, rent to just keep people together. So I think for me, we are improving. Like the question you asked, if we're going to go beyond October, We existed since 2 years back, and then we reached to this point, you know, where I
Yeah.
can tell you for free that we have area to be now. We have like cheers, we have number of, we can invite people, people will come to us, so we are improving. It's just that the due payment sometimes it can just be something that people will take it lighter, right? The hundred, even if it's still $100, people will take it lighter because now that they can't afford, some people, even if it costs some member, they will say, "Oh, mommy, I forgot that we have a meeting today." So these are all of the challenges in putting people together. We find it to be, challenges in putting people together. But say it can make the organization, the leadership to be deterred to say, okay, but then we can go beyond.
This base just came in. At least 5 people have feared death following a fire incident in Johnsonville community last
Mhm,
night.
mhm,
Those that are reported dead include the mother of the late Princess Toba, a guide from Kakao Wash team, will confirm.
Yeah, I was watching it on Spoon not too long. I just took a look at it, but it's just for the public to know. So you can call us on 0770907908880907907 to be able to talk to Elisha gave from District number 10. But Elisha, you people have plans of doing any kind of work within the district as maybe helping people who are that in school or doing just whatever work within the district in time to come. You people have a platform for that.
Of course,
Hmm.
like most of our members, like the elderly one who are not really doing anything. Some of them children they go to school, sometimes they put them out. It is our duty to go back to the administration to say, okay, how much this person owe? So this person can do the test. We've been doing it like for numerous occasions.
You people have been paying
Of
people's school
course,
fees.
of
But
course,
I asked first
of
as to
course.
what you people are doing within the district, and you said that you people are just coming up, you people don't have
No,
structure
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything. It was included too because
Oh,
helping
oh,
people through the leg of
I,
paying their school
I
fees
think I
is
mentioned, I said that when the kindergarten, with the kindergarten, when they graduate, we even take them, we take charge of all of this thing before graduation fee. We contribute to it, not take you give it before it. Sometimes we give 40%. If the person needs a 10,000, we give 40%. Probably we're doing something in that direction. And most of our members, like last year, I can tell you for free that we pay pretty close to $15,000 as well tuition just contributing to member children.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure.
okay. So that's just it. We will take few calls and we call it a day for this segment. But just before that, let's go to the Facebook page and be able to read out few comments from Facebook. Okay, this is Weir and he says, watching. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Yo, yo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where do you join us from?
This is Ben Taiwan calling from Overton Peace Island.
Okay.
I'd like to say good morning to my colleague in studio, also my mom, Professor.
Mhm.
Yeah, let me take my colleague, my learner colleague. Yeah, he said it all. Our problem with the madam on the island is for visibility. Because of working at the Women's Ministry of ID, was coming to come all the way down to being a candidate in the election, especially on the CDC ticket. Of course, we just could support the government immensely. Yeah, but now we found out that it's one way or the other inherit. Yeah, and we have challenges then yeah, putting up the show. You see other people they can wear all of or candidates t-shirt with the CDC better. You see they're supporting the president but not supporting the lady. So that's a major challenge for my colleague. Is 100% right. It's not too late. She can still come out and see her best to reach out to the people and talk to them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So we are not taking any more calls. So if you are calling, you just stop calling because we don't have time. So we won't take any more calls. But let's go over to you for your party statement.
My party statement. I want to say once again, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to reach this message out to all of the citizens. My being here today is not to really make uh Madam David to lose the election, but I'm sending this message out that every one of us be able to she should be able to reach out to everyone and we should be able to be consider her because if we don't vote for Madam David, definitely who will be the loser tomorrow because you got your friends out there. Some people looking up here and say, my man, look, you're playing a double hand game. But the game you're playing, you're not going to succeed within that because if Josh will win, it don't mean Josephine going to win.
Mm.
I
But
challenge you
yeah,
that
but yeah, they are doing
like,
vote more
like,
vote for.
like Josephine is not going to win. So
Mm.
they vote one, vote all, say we vote one. Some people say we will vote one, we vote two, we vote one. Yeah, just like that. So it is my pleasure being here again. Samira, right?
Yes, I mean,
Yeah, Samira. And I want to say thank you to your leadership for inviting us. And we are open, come here again to discuss matter concerning our organization and the territory at large. So
mm,
on behalf of Progressive Guard, for your invite, I want to
mm,
say I'm amazed. I want to say thank you very much.
mm.
And I hope to be here again.
Okay, thank you. It was a nice conversation with you indeed. And if you are just tuning in, this is Voice of Liberia 104.1. Currently, the program Good Morning Liberia with Liberia Online. At 9 o'clock, we are to have the vast dinner of Clarence Moniba party. She's supposed to be here along with the campaign chair, and together they are going to tell us about some happenings within their party and as to why they should be elected president and vice president, or why should the government be elected for Liberia presidency. And that is Madam Grace Mann, the vast bearer of the Liberian National Union party. She's going to be here and she will be here with no the vast bearer of the Liberian National Union. Yeah, she's the vast bearer. And she will be here with the campaign chair that is Lord Scott. Together they are going to be here to tell us happenings within their party. We go go back. Okay, okay. We'd like to say welcome back to Voice of Liberia 104.1, broadcasting to you from Capital Babas. Currently, the program Good Morning Liberia with Samiria Wala and St. Andrews. So, for our last segment, we have Lord Scott, and he's the campaign chair of the someone invite him. I'm going to call the name shortly. And he was expected to be here with the vast tenor burial that is Grace Kwan of that party. But we are not seeing them yet. But let's go over to him so that he tell us why she's not here this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good
Yeah.
morning, Samora. Thank you for having me.
Okay. So how's the party doing?
Well, the party is doing well. Unfortunately, our vice Stana Berriman and Pan could not be here this morning.
Mm.
On my way, I was notified of an incident, I think a fire incident where we've lost 5 persons.
So
And
your
I
party
think
lost.
I'm trying to find out the details. She said we lost, so I'm not sure if it's a personal family, friends, members of the party. But when Liberians lose their lives,
Yeah, I think that's from that point.
we've all
Yeah.
suffered. And so I think, but so I'm trying to get the details, and because I'm on radio, I'm limited as to what I'll be able to find out. But as soon as I leave here, I'll find out more.
Oh, okay. That's okay. You came here the last time, and we had conversation surrounding the party and the campaign launch of the party. But I am aware that you people have team within inferior counties, and they are trying to do the door-to-door campaign there. And your Stina Bearer is also out of Monrovia. He's in one of the counties. They're trying to talk to people. I watched him yesterday. He talked to some, intellectual guys at the forum there, and he also visited a church in Limba County. I also followed that. So how's the campaign process? How's the whole process going? How's people responding? Because you are the chairperson, everybody is kind of giving information back to you. So how is it like?
Tomorrow is a very busy period. It's a very tasking process.
Mhm.
Our problem is not likability of the message or even our messengers. Is being able to get, hit every square mile within the next 2 weeks or so. So from that end, from the message perspective, or from a messaging angle, we're doing well. We're doing extremely well. We think where we go when we get the message, our message resonates. The young people are excited. The adults and the older people are very, very convinced and happy that something new is potentially afoot in the country.
Mhm.
So from that end, we're doing well. Again, it's getting everywhere, to talk to everybody within such a short period of time.
Mhm.
And because we're the insurgent campaign or candidacy with a new candidate on the block,
Mhm.
even though our party has been around for a while.
Mhm.
It's getting people to appreciate what we bring to the table and realize that yes, good things do exist in Liberia amongst Liberians, and is very possible, and it's actually within reach. It's getting them to people who've been down for a long time, who've been in a state of despair and hurt and pain for a long time.
Mhm.
It's getting them to realize that help has finally come and is indeed real.
We got 15 days to go, and you're being crisscrossing, and you say that the message is resonating, and what is it that you telling them that is actually resonating with them that they can be convinced that on October 10th they can direct their votes to you?
And that's a good question. I appreciate it. So we've been very simple, clear, direct, and honest with them. We're saying, look, we can provide food for ourselves. Okay, let's get agri zones in the country, different agricultural sectors in the country. Let one region produce rice, all the rice that can feed this country. Let the other region produce the edos, the cassavas, the yams. The other region do the fruit. The other region do the kitali, the bitter ball, the pepper. Why are we importing pepper from Guinea? Okay, and we're saying when we do that, we can employ people, we can be self-sufficient. It's also part of our security. We're saying these road networks, we need to build the country infrastructurally. But we're not just saying let's do it. We're not just saying we know how to do it. We're reminding them that we've done it before. Dr. Moneyba was a guy who negotiated some of the funding or was on the negotiating team for some of the funding for most of these projects. He hits the ground running. Okay, he has there's something about being cognizant of something or being aware of somebody, having a relationship, a professional relationship exists between those institutions or those institutional heads and Dr. Moneyback because they've interacted before. He knows what they think, he knows what the expectations are, he knows how to prepare to go ahead and assuage their concerns to the extent that they have some about these projects, right? He's saying in education, let's invest some serious money in our primary school system. Okay, our early child education should be improved. It should be beefed up. He's saying, look, he has a VP candidate who, when she was superintendent of Maserado, there was a policy where no child was on the street before two. Why? Because they belong in school. Now they're out there selling. Not for His grace, it could be any one of our children. Okay, so we've been very practical with them. We're saying high school students, before you graduate, have trade school under your belt, trade training, some, you know, technical skill set for 2 years, one theoretical, 1 year practical. It will be mandatory. He's saying to college students, let's create a loan scheme where you don't have to stay out of school maybe because you can afford $200 or $300 a year. But there will be some service ingredient to it where you must serve the country for a year or two. And those policies, the details will be worked out. But so we've been very practical with them and saying, look, you can be the next Clarence Moneyback. You can be the next Chris Brown. You can be the next Lloyd Scott. Your future is within reach, but it begins now. And one of the most important things we're reminding them is that our future begins today. These elections cannot be about the past. We have to examine where we are and where we want to go. And if we make that examination, Dr. Moneyba is a candidate of the future, which begins now. We're in a state of national malaise because of where the country is now. And so if we need to improve, we cannot. And the last thing I
What
want
it
to say on
is,
this,
what it is presently.
I think Liberia is behind the countries that are way behind. I mean, and that's a fact, right? For the second or third time in a 2 or 3 week period, students on the Fender campus were protesting. Why? Because of lack of chairs. We're talking about Fender because of lack of chairs. Okay, we have to do something. The state of security. We're not even talking about the drug issue in this country. We have to do something in this country to change the governing paradigm. And what do we need to do? For the last 3 elections before this one, we've had two teams in the second round. We've made them the finalists, the CDC and the UP, '05. And we've had two individuals on the ballot in all three of those elections. George Weah, vice presidential candidate in '05. Joseph Boyka, vice presidential candidate in '05. 2011, Joseph Boyka, vice president. George Weah, vice presidential candidate. 2017, Joseph Boyka, VP contesting the presidency. George Weah, presidential candidate. We've consistently carried those two groups to the final. And what has been the result? Consistent misrule, consistent problems in the country. So now we're saying, look, we have to change it. I think somebody once said to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result is the real definition of stupidity. We have to be able to bet on ourselves, believe. And Dr. Moneyba is showing them a capable, educated, prepared young team. The combined age of our team is 100 years old.
When you say the country is behind other countries, then you want to be specifics. You want to lay out some of the specifics.
Okay, so let's just start with our public servants, our police officers, our security sector. We see them on the streets every day. Sometimes people complain. They want this and they want that. Not that I'm backing that kind of behavior, right? But you think if they were being paid livable wages commensurate with the work they're doing. I am the son of a school teacher. That's another area we need to concentrate on, invest in, pay attention to. You think if they were being paid livable wages and they were doing the things they need to do, you will always have some bad apples, and we agree with that. But if somebody knew that they had something of value, that if they lost, it will be seriously detrimental, not just to themselves, but to their family also, they will pay more attention to it. Okay? We've seen look, you live in Liberia, the eye test, the smell test. You know the challenges that are be definitely the people, the country. And so it's not a you don't have to make a gigantic leap of faith to realize that where we are is not where we envisaged being 19, 20 years ago when we started building this new dispensation.
Okay, so with 20 presidential what what chance do your candidates stand of winning these elections?
Well, anytime you play a game, you see, I'm old enough to remember a few years ago when Leicester won the premiership in England. Well, nobody saw them. Nobody knew who they were, right? Um, I'm also old enough to remember that there was a time when the national team of Liberia scared all of Africa,
Mhm.
right? When we nearly went to that World Cup in '02. So anytime you're in a competition, there is a very strong possibility, especially if you prepare like we prepared. You have the players like we have. In this race, I have the Kylian Mbappe of Liberian politics and Clarence Moneyba. Okay, uh, he's prepared, he's experienced, he's up to the task. He's internationally trained. He has the gravitas that he can walk through any door internationally and instantly gain respect. Okay, he's been educated amongst them. He's worked amongst them. But the most important thing he brings without just the international thing is that he's been trained and worked in the Liberian system. So he understands our system of governance from the highest level. He was within the presidency,
So
advising the president.
how long he been in Liberia with the people prior to the election?
Clarence
Or
Moneyba came back to Liberia in 2011. You see, a
and
lot
since
of people
2011 he been in Liberia.
yeah, he was out for maybe a few months in 2019, but since then he's
Few
been in
months, a
Liberia
few years.
a few months in 2019. 2019 at 1 year, so he couldn't be out a few years in 2019. But we'll try. But and since he came back home, he's been doing private work. He's been working in the Moneybar Foundation also. What a lot of people don't know is that he's been here working. Okay, especially 2014 when he started within the presidency, 2013, 2014 when he started within the presidency. He's been here working, and people don't know him. Why? Because he went to
Working
work.
through his foundation.
Now I will give you no in government also. He started within the presidency around 2014 or thereabouts, right? With the former administration. When Ebola happened, for instance, he was one of those that was called and sent by Madame, the former president, to go and re-engage businesses because the economy was dwindling. Some businesses that are left to go and look for new businesses, to look for some funding to do some of these projects. And he also rose to the level of the head of the president's delivery unit. He became the minister of state with our portfolio, the chairman of the board of LEC. But the reason why a lot of people don't hear these things because we were not in the period where he went to work and he was on Facebook all day. Or he was on social media all day. He went to work. He did his work. He put his head down. He did his work. And we went to him. That was how some of us were trained to work. You go, you do your work in public service. It is not about you. It is about the national agenda. And that's why he executed. But nobody in this race from the current, in fact, this current government honored him in 2018, okay, for service to government. But nobody in this race, whether it's a foreign government or former government, can sit and say he's not been home. He's been home working. He's been home building this movement. Ask people around the country about Friends of Liberia, about Friends of Money, about New Liberia movement. This is something he's been working on. So yes, he's not been away.
Your manifesto and that of most of the political parties, if not same but similar, isn't that a confusion amongst the electorate as to who is the right person, because you people, whatever what you see on Dr. Malabar road agriculture, you see on the next person road agriculture, the next part road agriculture. Isn't that confusion?
No, it's not. When you do the same courses in the same class, the materials may be the same. But when you look at, because Liberia has, Liberia is just this small country, rich in resources and all of that. But the problems are easy to discern. The difference you will see will be the solutions that we offer. Okay, our solutions are practical. Our solutions are research based, right? And besides what the solution I will offer, we offer them through agents who are capable of doing it. We're not saying let's do this, but we don't have the energy. Let's do that, but we don't have the connections. Let's implement this, but we don't have the graphitize. No, we're saying that yes, though the problems may be, similar and cumbersome among everybody, okay, at the end of the day, it is one thing to for everybody to come with the same. We're not just diagnosing the problem. We're prescribing real solutions for the problem. And so it's up to the Liberian people. 20 people running, it might be is a lot. But in the land of 5 million people, we submit to them that 20 people running is not too much to be able to discern what it is they want. Now, for 6 years, depending on the situation, they can determine if they want to remain there or if they want to make a change. All we are saying, and I say this for every campaign, the campaigns are going out there working and trying to bring plans to bring solutions for you. It's not too much work to analyze and assess them if you really, really want this country to change. And that's all we're saying.
So the manifesto, your difference is the solution that you bring, and the solution is both theory and practical. With every conviction that you can change Liberia for the better.
We will definitely give Liberians
Yeah.
a new Liberia.
Yes, there. I was coming there. The name, New Liberia. How it came into being, like, where did the inspiration came from to get the name New Liberia?
That's what we talk about innovative thinking, thinking outside the box, being a visionary. And Dr. Moneybar decided that, look, we keep saying, let's do this and let's do this and let's fix this and let's repair this. But at some point in time, you spend more money repairing a house than sometimes just building a new one. Okay. So we're not taking the natural land mass and relocating it somewhere, but we're saying, look, let's carry on a seismic shift in our way of thinking, our way of doing things. Let's get used to normal. Let's not continue to settle for mediocrity or not too good. And so he had this inspiration to say, look, Liberia can be not just what our parents told us it was, and it was heading towards being before all of the crisis began. But Liberia can be that shining star on the hill, right? That shining city on the hill where we can rival the Cote d'Ivoire, the Ghanas, the big cities in Nigeria. We can be that because there was a time when they sent their people here for jobs because of dwindling economies in their countries. So we can be that. So that's where the inspiration for him came from. That look, we can improve upon this. What our parents did was great. But the essence of us struggling today is that our children may have something better, not the same or something worse.
All right, so I was told that let's talk about the campaign, the launch, the official launch, because that's one of the main things we are to talk about here. And I feel that you would like to give information out to the public as to when will be the campaign and where will it be taking place and all of that. But let's include this that just this morning, Andrews and I, we were talking about the crowds from various political parties, and we were saying that crowd is included in somehow when it comes to political events. So how is it like going to be on your day? Like, we are seeing the Bonipa team, they are out there talking to people. Marcel watched the stand barrier, he's out there. The way he talks to young Liberians, I'll be like, okay, this man, he has a very great message that he wants to, change Liberia and everything. But how's the crowd going to be like? People going to respond on that day, looking at all of the works that you have done.
You know, one of the songs I like, one of the gospel songs I like,
Or probably they don't buy into crowd politics.
Exactly. Maybe, maybe they are not into
many,
it.
one of the songs I like is "May the Life That I Live Speak for Me."
Mm,
Okay, so you have these moments on a campaign where your work, the results of your work will be manifested,
mhm,
right? Not that we don't necessarily buy into crowd politics, but we've been around. We've seen crowds. I was here 2017 when they had something called Green Day. Everybody could have read Joseph Walker's inauguration speech there. They said it was locked down from Town all the way down to Central Monrovia. They even what they did on Sunday, that day dwarfed it, right? So we've seen what the crowd it is important optically. Your supporters need to see it to be invigorated. Some who are becoming a little bit disillusioned need to be reinvigorated. It helps. It sends a message to the other side. Now, talking to people not playing though.
mhm,
It helps all of that, right?
mhm.
Even people who want to give you the $5 or $10 say, that's a winner there. I can put my money there. That's important. But what's even more important is before and after the crowd gathering. Okay. And that's what we're doing now before we're reaching out. On June 30th, we unveiled our vice standard bearer. And so, you know, the crowd in Monroeville, we will have on October 5th at
Mm.
the ATS, we'll have our closing rally. And on that day, we'll have a rally where we'll not just show up and then leave and issue a press release. We'll show up, we'll give the people the bread and butter what they came for. We'll tell them what we Dr. Moneyba and Emmanuel Palmer and our legislative team intends on doing for the country. And we will leave them with something. And then we'll spend the next 2 days crisscrossing different parts, different markets in the country. And we haven't sufficiently touched that we need to go back and beef up. And then we'll let Judgment Day on October 10th come. We will sleep well October 9th because we will exhaust every ounce of political juice we have up to then. And then we will rest. So, yes, we recognize the importance of crowd. I mean, you have to meet the country where it is in order to improve the country or give it a new country. So we're not going to be dismissive and say crowds don't matter. It's a joke because we understand the messages and the optics that come out of that. But the before and after, for those of us who are deeply involved in the game, who are animals of the game, we understand the importance just as much, if not more so, than the crowd.
You got two giants ahead of you. Aren't you intimidated?
Our very declaration for this race should put everybody on notice that intimidation is not a parlance we engage in. Certainly not against us. And I don't know of whom you're speaking about, but to the two giants, I said we have to David.
George William, Joseph Barker.
And
They are two political
to the
heavyweights.
two giants, I said we have to David and Clarence Moneybar.
So you will emerge as the winner.
We will win these elections because the Liberian people, the young people, the middle age, the older people will vote for their retirements, for their children. The middle age will vote for their future. As they get older, the young people will vote for themselves. They will believe in themselves, and we will win these elections on the back of the Liberian people.
If you didn't win, then it means that your message didn't resonate.
No, you see, there are different factors that come into an election result. A lot of people can like you and decide that, well, I'm not sure it is possible. A lot of people are so disillusioned. They've become so steeped in this belief that mediocrity is the way to go. They cannot believe that something great can happen. So that fear of really, really betting on themselves holds them back. It's like they want it, but I think they think it can happen. Okay. And so when you don't change a country, you don't get a new country overnight. The mindset is what we're working on also. And so if we don't win these elections, it will be we didn't get enough votes. It doesn't mean we didn't dominate the marketplace of ideas. And so we don't abandon the ship because we say we didn't win these elections. Again, we've recognized that we need a new Liberia. And whatever it takes until God calls us home from this green earth, we will work on getting our people a new Liberia.
Now, these two guys, many are predicting politically that the race is going to be between the two of them. Um, the first ballot going to be open, and there is every possibility of a second ballot, and it will be between the Coalition for Democratic Change and Unity Party. If that prediction comes to pass, then you are out.
Many people predicted that Brazil will win the World Cup when Germany beat them 6 or 7-1. Many people predicted that Portugal would beat Morocco in the World Cup, when Morocco beat Portugal. So look, people can predict. The only reason why you actually have to vote is that prediction is not an exact science. And so I will let them predict. We will play it out, and we'll see what happens.
You've got the interior of the country, and many of the areas aren't accessible. Yeah, how are you going to penetrate those you have not reached yet, and you have already planned to reach those areas? You want to give a picture to your audience.
One of the benefits and strength of vigor and vitality uh, is that you have an ingredient or a set of ingredients that others don't have. During this campaign, Dr. Moneyba has been the only candidate that I can remember. And please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mean to mislead intentionally. Well, so I would say one of the few, if not the only. I got good English, right? Um, he's got one of the few that has
You like
actually.
Facebook, but using
Yeah,
Facebook
you did
expression.
No, but I'm not Facebook.
Yeah.
The man said it really impressive, and the team said it really impressive. So, and then we watch a value of Facebook, we just don't live on it. But he has the energy to do it, to reach there. He's been on motorbikes, going to towns and villages, and those places where vehicles can go. Not just cars will go there, but motorbikes will go there. Okay, and so he will reach those places if it means that he will get off and put the pull the pants up and put the boots on and walk with the people where Liberians are living. And we aspire to leadership, to their leadership. We will do our utmost best, God willing, to go there. We can't cover every inch, every square mile of the country, but we'll do our best because at the end of the day, again, we are building a new Liberia. We're telling people that, look, you can get this and you can get that. And how would they believe it? They got to see something new happening. So when we go to places and they say no presidential candidate has been here before, okay, that for them is a new concept. That, they may really came here. These people really came here. They're not seeing it before. And the only way to eventually get them there, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
If your candidate can reach, and those places that he has already reached, the inaccessible ones, you got teams that can penetrate those areas, those clans, those villages.
Yes, sir. If we can reach Zaista and Grangida, if we can reach Nima County, okay, if we can reach Boje, bombing going towards Bap, we have teams, local teams that are there working. We will do our best to get to those places. Today, right now, as I speak to you, I expect him in to be welcoming Grangida in a few hours, leaving Nima. We will crisscross Grangida as much as we can. We'll turn around, we'll come back to Nima, we'll spend some time in Nima. Here's the thing about what Dr. Moneyba is uniquely doing. We are not ceding 1 inch of political territory, which is the entire country, to any political person. We're not saying the Southeast for XA candidate X, so we're not going there. We're not saying Nima is for candidate B, so we're not going there. Because again, there are Liberians there. And when you are president of the Republic of Liberia, you are president for all Liberians, not just those who voted for you, not just your stronghold. So we are going everywhere where we are loved, where we are questioned, where people are not sure about us. We're going everywhere.
All right. So, how is your candidate going to help the country's economy?
So I talked about a few things. I think the last time I was here, and I started mentioning them earlier.
Mm.
The agricultural policy is one. Okay, you spend less on importing, more on growing. You also employ people that way. And employment just doesn't mean the farmers out on the field. You have people in the marketing section. You have the data folks. So there's a whole plethora of things that have to be that are involved in within the
So, the
economization.
focus point is going to be agriculture, or
Well,
you have other.
agriculture is very central. That's when you feed yourself, but you also have an enhanced and improved workforce, right? When you educate people who come out with skill sets. Now, companies are coming here, we want to say to them, look, stop bringing in foreign workers to do these simple jobs. And you know what the excuse is? We don't have the skill sets, we don't have the experience. Okay, so we're going to start working on that to make sure there's some technical training there, okay? But one of the low hanging fruits, and we have to look at our different agreements and see how we can say to our collaborators, our collaborating partners, How can we make it work better for us while not offending your business purposes? Look at the maritime, for instance. I'm told we have about 4,400 ships flying our flag. Give and take. That number could be a bit lower, a bit higher. But why don't we have Liberians working on those different ships? Let's sit and have that discussion. If it was 4,000 ships and five Liberians on average was on each ship, we know some will have 10, some may have one or two. So let's say on average, five Liberians there. That's 20,000 jobs. So these are the things that we can do to immediately jumpstart the economy. Another thing is we will have a government that will have the confidence of the business community because they will trust it. Law and order will be there, right? So if you know you can invest in this economy without being taken advantage of, or to know that the law will work for you, um, that also improves the economy because now businesses are coming back more, and we have a better educational system. When the companies come, what are they doing? They're bringing their children. Their children are going to school. Their families are here. So instead of them making their salaries and shipping everything home except for the meager ones they need to survive here, you're now investing more in the economy. So this economy will work for us again.
The
And the last thing, I'm sorry, Chief, there will be an immediate instruction to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to institute a visa on arrival policy. Point blank simple. Where people come here, they will pay the on entry, visa on arrival. Obviously, we'll look into the different security concerns from different countries and all of that. So let not people go and say, oh, the people will just know. We're not just going to open up our borders, but it'll be a visa on arrival because it only helps the country.
energy, that's what drives the economy.
So
How are
obviously,
you going to deal with that?
Dr. Moiba was chairman of the board of LSE, like I said before, and he worked on the MCC, the Millennium Challenge Corporation, the compact that brought over $256 million, 254 to $256 million to the country. We recognize that one of the problems that LSE has had has not been its ability to generate electricity. It's how they will distribute it to be able to disperse it to the public. Dr. Moneyba's experience in that sector, working with our international partners, that will be something robustly attacked. We were working on it when the China government came. So again, we have people. We're not just coming to bring somebody there who doesn't know it. That's an area where the mayor was in charge of that area, so he understands that. And all the things I'm talking about, business and school and all of that, if that sector is left unattended to, then it's everything else is doing is for nothing.
Roles?
He's the infrastructure king. He's the infrastructure guru. Okay, he has the experience. He worked on the Lofa Highway
Yeah, he
project.
got the experience. You explain the layout, how he's going to do it when he's elected on October 10th.
Well, again, because he's got the experience and because he's done it before, he walks in from the one more. Okay, these are our challenges. I think there was a report, not a report, of research and analysis done back in 2016 or 17 or thereabouts, where we needed about $2 to $3 billion maybe at the time to fix all of our roads in the country. Now we'll go back right then and there, we dust that up and reassess it and see where we are now in actual dollars in 2023 or 2024 January when he's inaugurated as the president of Liberia. And then we'll go ahead and put a team together, okay, looking at the plans we had before and say, let's jumpstart it. Let's go ahead and make these things work. So he's not coming, you're not bringing somebody who has to come and learn how government works and learn when the projects come from public works and then the mansion got to approve it. And then the engineers that are supervising the projects, what are they doing? And have they been paid? And are they, no, and the support cooperating? No, you have somebody who's been there before, who knows how to clear the kinks out, who knows what the challenges are, who knows what the opportunities are, and who hits the ground running from day one.
You wouldn't be taught on the job.
No, we won't. I think with the one opposition candidacy, I can say that on day one we walk into the executive mansion with executive experience in this new dispensation. The one opposition candidate said I can say that they have a former superintendent, a former member of the cabinet. Others are there, but they were in the legislative.
You wouldn't harmonize when you ascend, if you will.
But we will do a comprehensive review. I think harmonization in theory sounds good, okay, but the way it was implemented, okay, You don't decide, and I think this happened when some of us were very were very young, and it happened in the 80s when the military government came to power, and in no time, people's salaries went up from $50 to 250. I think the military did, right? It's not a bad thing to increase people's salary, but before you do it, if you're my brother, my father, or I'm your father, before one of us increases their allowance overnight, you must have a means to do it. You don't just jump out and say, "Oh my man, today you're going to school. I'm no longer giving you a dollar. I'm giving you $5." But you're operating on the same number you had before when you were giving him a dollar. Now something's got to give. What is going to be reduced for the money to increase from a dollar to $5? When you just overnight hire all of your partisans, you're forgetting to know that other parties whose partisans exist are Liberians also. You hire all of them. Then people who are already living on fixed salaries. And when you live on fixed salaries, what do you do? Your apartment or your house is based on your ability to sustain and maintain it. Now, all of a sudden, you went from making $5 to $2 overnight, right? And you are told to live on it. Your responsibilities are still there. Your landlord doesn't, they're not your business or her business that your money just dropped. Your children's school, they're not their business that your money just dropped. Okay, so there has to be a well thought out plan. This knee jerk reaction to appease partisans is not a governing philosophy. It is a recipe for chaos, and we've never recovered from that epic, inability to properly execute a policy. So I would say that I'm not just going to give you a willy nilly outright condemnation of harmonization. But I would say that anything that isn't done properly isn't executed, and that you could still do it properly and have mistakes in the system. That will understand. But to just come and say we're going to harmonize, you just overnight, and that's also that sometimes you question these things. Was it even legally done? Or how many people will not complain? Why? Because you complain to further detriment to you. Because you complain, you lose your job, and in a country where the most amount of hires are done to or by the government, some way, shape, or form, that can be a challenge. So I will not just rule that out, okay? But we also have to be very, very mindful of how we implement it.
Okay, so that's it. Let's go to the public so that they can interact with you and ask you all of the questions they want to ask you about your presidential candidate. So you can call us on 0770 907 907 0880 Again, for the orange subscribers, you call us on 0770 907 907. And for the Lone Star subscribers, you call us on 0880 907 907, and we able to interact with the new Liberia campaign chair in studio this morning. And if you are just tuning in, this is Voice of Liberia 104.1. Currently, you are listening to the program Good Morning Liberia with Samaria Wonla and Sam Andrews. If you are following us via Facebook, we urge that you share the live video and also drop a comment. It will be read at the end of this discussion. So let's get a few comments from Facebook while we await our calls. Augustine T. Musa says, Good morning. Or Julia Wower says, Good morning. Papi Keita says, Good morning, Voice of Liberia CDC. Papi Keita from Bone County. Far Junior Saint as he says, Good morning. Regular silent listener following you from Portland Road, Pittsfield. Thanks for the update. Tente Uya says, I'm following from my home in Catwell, thumbs up community. Haji Man, he says, Good morning, VOL and the peace loving people of Maryland County. I'm watching from District 13, Monserrate County at my business port. Politician turned businessman. So let's take this call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where the the person left the line. He left the line. So keep calling us on 0770-907-907, and be able to interact with Mr. Lord Scott. And Dante, we are saying thanks so much, Mr. Scott. So while we await our callers, the ECOWAS urged political actors to refrain from limitations during. Okay. Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm in what you join us from.
Yeah, thanks for having presented a very eloquent gentleman,
Mm,
but they made the boat big time.
okay.
Ask him the paper that Dr. Monroe, he got one paper garden anywhere, emphasize agriculture. Why do we want to play with politics? This guy John Bucket, he cover look like John Bucket. They would think that he's not going to even be taking place. Damn, he's very eloquent. He has the idea, but he needs to join a winnable party. He's not going to win. They know that. He all the theory and prediction and whatever he's talking about. Morocco beat Portugal. That's football. This is politics. Munba does not have one better ball for his point that he will eat today. Thank you and good day.
Okay, thank you. Keep calling us on 077 I'll read out the numbers again. 0770 Hope you are taking in your questions so that you'll be able to address it later. But I was talking about ECOWAS, they urged political actors to refrain from the flaming tensions, looking at all of the statements that's coming from the opposition unity party, their hardcore members, their followers, and everything. Even presidential candidates here, he reacted to their statement or he responded to it. Let's take this one. Morning. So he responded to it and termed it as a reckless and irresponsible statement from Prince Johnson, from Joseph Waka. Waka said that if anything happened to win this election, and Liberia is finished, was what he said. I have the clip here. But let's take this one before you ask. Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Anima, where do you join us from?
Thank you. There's the voice of Samuel Sakara Johnson.
Mhm.
And I speak to you from the most popular and the most populated city in the Republic of Liberia, Princess.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Let me say good morning to the intellectual political paragon in studio. And I think it was never a mistake to bring us a man in studio. But let me say this.
Mm.
Dr. Monima possesses the best democratic values and credentials to represent and restore the national dignity of our country. It got no doubt. Not only that, this man understands the border politics of the country. This man has been around the corridors of the politics of the country. For a young man to be trusted by the previous regime of Madam Salif to serve as chair of the Liberia Electricity Corporation, head of the to serve as minister of state with our portfolio, to serve as head of the presidential delivery unit, supervising and negotiating over millions and millions of dollars for this country's developmental agenda. This is something no serious country around the world will see just man profile with this level of intelligence, with the level of experience, will reject us a young man. But again, this is Liberia. But we want to say to the people of this country, no matter what you do, we will never be distracted from our agenda. Dr. Moneyman can better restore our agenda, can better restore the dignity of this country. Liberia is at a crossroad. We cannot continuously elect people. If we truly believe in the developmental agenda of our country, we cannot continuously elect people who contested 2005, 2011, 2017 with the same agenda, and the masses of the people of our country stay continuously live in a destituted political, economic condition.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, their life is not changing. So I want to say to the chairman in studio that you have our official revolutionary support, that we support Dr. Monima's presidency. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you for calling. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where do you join us from?
It's Samuel Edson and I come from Brazil.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. You are live.
Hello?
You are live. Go ahead. I think your phone is giving problems. So you call us on 0770-907-088-0907907 to be a part of this morning discussion and also interact with the New Liberia team in studio this morning. So back to the question about your response or your thoughts about all of the negative talks that coming from hardcore politicians. And ECOWAS, they responded to it and they were urging all political leaders to disassociate themselves with inflaming tensions during this election. Also, Tiawan Ongolo, he also responded and he said that it's a reckless statement. What do you have to say about it? And the standard bearer of the United Party came out and he said, if anything happened, there will be no Liberia. So, what do you have to say about that? Out of the statements coming from these political actors, why I'm seeing your candidate just doing his normal campaign around. You have other people showing jobs and giving out talks that is not good for the country. So, what's your response to that?
That's one of the reasons why, despite the fact that we're probably the youngest, certainly one of the youngest candidates in the race, we are the most prepared to take on leadership because such irresponsible rhetoric coming from some of our most elderly citizens, not just politicians, is very sad for the country. And I think, and I'm trying to understand, maybe because the government is a candidate in the race, also, that's why some of these people have not been invited to explain the statements that they're making. When you threaten the very existence of the country that you want to be president of, that if you don't win, because the version of unfairness is that if they don't win, that if you don't win, then it ends the country as we know it. Such threat, people need to be called to explain those statements. But the National Security Agency, we have to stop playing politics because like every word we say during this campaign, we are prepared to repeat them on October 11th or the day after the second round. That's when we're there and the day after inauguration. Because we stand by them. We're not just going to engage in divisive rhetoric that have no benefit to this country, just for the sake of inflaming the passions of our voters so that we can see Baku, you strong, say foolishness, irresponsible things, and then at the end of the day, it goes nowhere. For an elderly, and again, I read the statement and I read about the audio. I haven't heard the audio. But if VP Boycott said that, I think VP Boycott needs to explain himself, but even more so, stop. He's trying to act. That's what happens when you engage with certain company. You hang with people who smoke opinion all day. Even if you don't smoke, the scent will be on you. Hanging with Prince Johnson, the butcher of our time, the greatest single murderer in the history of Liberia. Hanging with that man for him to determine your vice president and having him go out there to even open his mouth to talk about where we are. After, according to the UP and other people, 26, some would say 30 something, some would say 42. After all of those years of giving you the best opportunity as a public servant, are you telling us that the future of Liberia is one with Prince Johnson determining that future?
Mm.
We have to stop this irresponsible talking. And I respect the VP. Okay, I respect him very well. I
Okay.
never would have thought that the statements attributed to him would have ever come out of VP Podcast campaign, least of all
Okay.
himself.
So let's take this quickly and get back to you. Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
You're alive.
This is Chris Canoe, and I speak to you from Ghana here.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much. And let me say good morning to the campaign manager of the Liberia National Year. And let me appreciate you. But let me say this, I think it is extremely important. And I think Dr. Mulba brings a lot of qualities to the politics of the country. Not only that, if you talk about, look, let us look at the politics of the country now. Now you look at the Unity Party. Look at the level of threats coming from the Unity Party of Joseph Yimabwaka, of Prince Johnson, of other people. Do the Liberian people think that Joseph Yimabwaka can execute the issue of corruption? Can bring about the issue of the war and economic crisis in the country where you are being barricaded with people that commit dangerous crimes in this country? that you are barricaded with people who were indicted in the GAC report from the legislature of consistently manipulating the national budget. So we must be very clear that this is something that we must be able to work on as Liberians. So we think that with what all he said, it is being an intellectual paragon. We think that Dr. Monima can better represent our people. So for number 13 with Madam Grace Power and that of Dr. Monima, we can restore the national dignity of our country. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thanks for making your point. We will take 2 more calls. And good morning.
Samara, good morning.
Good morning, Mama. Don't worry.
Yeah, for the my name is Mama William, and I joined my capital staff this morning to present this with the two minutes.
Okay.
And Mr. Gumando Grace, who is now with us this morning, but I know she will all the spirit.
Mhm.
Let me say thank you to Dr. Monoma this morning. You know, Grace, sometimes I said a really thing that only 20 political parties in Liberia are contesting. There's only in the party of opposition party are contesting against President we are. Because Grace, the remaining or let's say the political parties, opposition parties, they are all mature. When I say mature, since we come to pushing the agenda of their parties, they always speak on this. They always speak on how they will rule the country, which level they will do the country for, where they will do the country for. That's their message. I'm not here one day for anyone to say, oh, if we don't win, we're going to push. If we don't win, there'll be no more like you. I don't know where they're coming from with this threatening statement of our country. And this is so for or necessity is for now regular statement for the party. This peace in the country that we enjoy today is okay for us. It's enough for us. It is better to see with hunger peacefully than to be people that are running around. It's not good. So let me just take you to the honorable mayor once more, for the peaceful message, concerning our country. Because it's beginning in our party, like beginning in the party, beginning CDC, beginning beginning after this election, like we still remain as country.
All right. Thank you for that. Good morning.
Yeah, I go ahead on the access. You get to tell you where one law is dependent from what the phrase agriculture
He
or farm.
will
You have not
respond
done
to
that.
that.
I want to hear. I don't have rhetoric. And the issue of Manima, I mean, when it's in a place free, it is left out disappear. You understand literature, figurative expression, within a broad feeling, we don't know the different aspect. It is not a landmark. You understand what the disappear of the state or the people. So you just expand that with your time. We say the people will finish. Who's kingdom? That what is about. You want to have who's forward.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
So, Mara,
Yes.
this is a guy back in the law. I just give me 2 seconds, please.
Go ahead. Be fast.
Yeah, there is a few seconds. There's a guy back on the number of business. We still hope that the Liberian people will be judging on the basis of where he serves as head of the presidential delivery unit. Will the Liberian people be appreciated that on the basis that he negotiated over 78 million dollars for the local project? Would they be appreciated Dr. Monma for the new terminal? Would they be appreciated Dr. Monma on the basis that he negotiated the funds for the workplace facility? Would they be appreciated for the road leading for ESME road to Coca-Cola factory? These are from the method pillars of democracy that we must be voting for, and not on the basis of manner we do at the place popular or in that scale. No, the development of our country must be on the basis of what people have done in their respective portfolio. And that's what we said. Our official revolutionary support remains with Dr. Clarence K. Monima, and we think that he's the dignity individual that can restore the dignity of our country.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So that's all the time we have, of course, on this segment. Let's go over to our studio guest so that he answer. I think there's a question there from one of the callers.
Yeah, somebody who's very insistent on buying produce from Dr. Moneybar's farm.
Mhm,
So then he talks about to understand literature, figurative speech.
mhm,
So I will suspend disbelief and assume that he's going to teach me literature and figurative speech, and then I will address it.
mhm,
Saying that because somebody doesn't have a farm, they can't come and be a good leader is like rejecting a great doctor because he doesn't want a private hospital. Okay, I don't see logic in there, but let me help him. In the Bobolu area, the late Dr. Maniba, Harry Maniba, his father, Dr. Maniba's father, had a farm there that was left moribund after the war. Dr. Maniba has helped to refurbish that in his own way. Also in the Kolahun belt, he's supposed different farming projects, including one that he has going on for himself. Okay. So he's not just a guy that doesn't care about the country or that's looking for somebody to tell him about growing pepper and bitter ball. Okay. But let's talk about then he says we should join the winner because he's from Lofa.
mhm,
This is the kind of tribal laden politics. We're running a campaign for the Republic of Liberia, not to be president of Lofa. If this young man or this older man wants to be president of the Lofa Development or Lofa Association, he's more than welcome to go and do it. Dr. Moneyba is seeking to lead Liberians, not to be part of Joseph Boyka only because you notice when the Unity Party supporters call and cry, they never tell you the great policies they got, the plans they have, the things they want to do. It's always that he's from Lofa, so you support him,
mhm,
and that kind of, frankly speaking, that kind of foolish political talk is what has bedeviled this country, is what has gotten us where we are, and we insist on stopping that. Then he talks about we should understand the literature of what
mhm,
VP Boyka said. Look, the same kind of talk led to war in Rwanda,
mhm,
led to the deaths of many people. It led to war here, to war here. Irresponsible talk. Are you telling me that people in this country at the level where everybody will understand and pause and say, this is what he meant, this is what he didn't mean? No. You have a responsibility. Two-term vice president of Liberia, former agriculture minister, head of LPMC. You have a responsibility to, at the very least, sustain and maintain the peace. You've worked in every government in this country since the 70s. It's a crying shame, like in 2023, say offering yourself, but that's a different discussion. You've worked in every government. You come with the experience of seeing what Liberia was pre-war, pre-coup, post-coup, pre-war, post-war, and a new dispensation. There is a burden on your back, on your head, on your shoulders that other people who don't have the benefit of hindsight and experience that you have, that you must take with care and caution. And then when you are affiliating with a new warlord like Prince Johnson, or men who indiscriminately kill people, okay, and who has made no bones or attempts to apologize. When you are
okay,
affiliating with that, you have to be careful because let me assume the VB is even be misunderstood.
mhm.
Your affiliation makes it that much more
But he
imperative
isn't
on
he
you
isn't the only person on record for such killings.
to.
Prince Johnson.
But he's the only person on record right now that is determining the potential next vice president of Liberia, who happens to be his political son. So his proximity to power draws other people who've killed because they don't have that proximity to power. That's why we're talking about it. If another warlord was in that position who had done the things, the heinous things that Prince Johnson had done, or remotely so, believe you me, we'll be talking about it.
Have you received a copy of your VR from NEC?
No, not yet, and that's another thing in fact, just this morning I had a discussion with another political leader, and so we are going to meet around 2 or 2:30. And we think that we're very concerned about that. We're very concerned. Our initial analysis, we just reviewed it, okay, without the official one coming. After the voter rolls are clean, we saw an initial increase of 434 votes. That's a very, very small number. But if you've done all the cleanup and the overall rolls increase, then we are concerned. What did you clean up? Where did you clean up? Let's see what you removed and all of that.
So you are at NEC this afternoon. So
No, I'm
okay.
with a political leader, and then we are going to determine how do we approach it formally.
If there is a second round, as we are sensing, which way will you go if you are not in either one of the
But
two,
we
or you are
expect
not either one of the two?
we expect to be there, and if we are not there, and there is a second round, Again, we have an agenda for this country. Who is more attuned and prepared and attendant to this agenda for this country? We will sit and determine the future of this country. We're not just in this thing because we want to belong or want to stand up before a microphone and announce, but we suspect that the United Party will be endorsing us, whomever we're going against.
If you are not in the two, you will play a neutral role. You will abstain.
No, you see, neutrality is not much of an option for leaders. Neutrality. A leader may make the wrong decision, even though you need to make the right decision. But being neutral after people are following you and looking to you for guidance is not normally the best panacea for the Malays that we have in this country.
Okay, so just give your parting statement. We don't have much time
Look, fellow
today.
Liberians, thank you for listening. Thank you for having us, Voice of Liberia. On October 10th, there will be what we call an existential election in the history of this country. People will be exercising the franchise, the most potent vehicle or tool that a voter has or a citizen has in the country. And we ask that we've offered the candidacy of Dr. Clarence K. Money by Madam Grace Titma, presidential candidate and vice presidential candidate of the Liberian National Union, a new Liberia team. They are prepared, they're experienced, they will unite the country. They will take the country to heights unseen before because they're not strangers on the international scene. They're no world leaders. There are few Liberians in their lifetime, I can say, I've commiserated with Barack Obama. I've had lunch with Bill Clinton. I've had meetings with Benjamin Netanyahu. I've had the benefits and the privilege of learning at the feet of Olusegun Obasanjo. I've met with Tony Blair.
Okay.
Few leaders can say that I have Linda Thomas Greenfield on my Rolodex. Few leaders can say that, and Clarence Kwame Moneyba is one of them.
Okay. Thanks.
Vote number 13. Vote number 13. Moneyba Kwan. Lionel. Thank you.
Okay, so that's all the time we have here. We'd like to say thanks to all those of you who listen. Indeed, it was a great time since 7:30 this morning. And it's about time that we call it a day here. Thanks to Denti Weah, who was behind here producing, making sure that the show is a success. Liberia is all we have. With 15 more days to election, we would like to say for why and let this election be peaceful. Let's trust the National Elections Commission with whatever result they come up with. Let's stop the threats and love Liberia. So talk peace, eat peace, and walk peace. My name is Samiria Wawonla, and I was here with Sam Andrews. Together we presented Good Morning Liberia. So till we see you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Have a